the Sentinel artifact, didn't you?
This has been a long time coming, Toughen. Record, Project Janice, Sam, all of it, just to fix your murderous fuck-up and bring Mary and Samuel back from the dead. And now, you have lost the one thing that can actually do it!
Thank you, Major.
Fuck you!
Fair enough. We're not friends. We never will be. But we are running out of time. The ether reactors at Janice Towers must be close to melting down by now. Worse, I know what Sam really intends to do with the Sentinel artifact.
She said she wants to bring back Maxis.
No. Sam wants to be Maxis. To reconstitute and inhabit her body. She would have full control of the dark ether. Godlike power. She can still be stopped, but our window isn't long.
You got a plan?
Always.
The Shattered Veil. It truly did shatter all of our asses with this map. I really should not say that again. It shattered our expectations, I should have properly said. Hello everyone, Clarky here, welcome back to another video. Today I am back and today I am here to talk about the Shattered Veil being the best map in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Now, I'm saying this from a community point because me personally, I still think Terminus is my personal favourite and best map in Black Ops 6 Zombies specifically. I still prefer Citadel just a tiny bit over Shattered Veil, but in this video I'll be going over the positives, I'll be going over the negatives, and if there's anything that you guys disagree with, let me know in the comment section down below, and if there is anything that I do miss out within these lists of positives and negatives for the Shattered Veil, let me know also. But anyways guys, let's hop right into it. So starting off with the positives, you've got a great map layout. Now, when this map was coming into Black Ops 6 Zombies, just before it released, we were actually being told that it was going to be similar to the Liberty Falls and the Tomb, aka its map layout, and it turns out it was not like that at all. We were told by the official Call of Duty podcast that it was more on the lines of Citadel Day More. Now, I was personally someone just subscribed to me? I've never had that happen in a video before. I'm going to keep that in. Thank you to who just subscribed there. But go back to the map layout here. The map layout isn't like Citadel at all. I think it's a tiny bit bigger than Citadel. Now, with Citadel, when you think of Citadel, the map itself isn't that big. It's just the area within each map is quite big. The spawn room, the actual areas in the castle itself. But all in all, it's not that big of a map. Whereas the Shattered Veil, there's a lot to explore. You've got the mansion itself, you've got the build up towards the mansion, you've got the underground part, which I thought would have been a lot smaller, which I was totally wrong. And on top of that, you've got a lot of secret rooms as well. That's awesome. So honestly, great map layout, and I'm personally happy with it. On top of that, the map has a great setting as well. I love the skybox, I love the tone, I love the color saturation, and on top of that, it's giving me Dead of the Night and Alpha Omega vibes. More Dead of the Night vibes specifically, but it feels new. Not saying it's a one-on-one feel of Dead of the Night, but it kind of reminds me of it. Not just because of its mansion, but it feels like it's took Dead of the Night's inspiration and made it into something new. And in terms of Alpha Omega, well, the Vega Mark II variants, that's really the only Alpha Omega thing I feel about the Shattered Veil. Along with that, one of my favourite things about this map, and a lot of other people's, is that there's hardly any boss spam within this map. The biggest problem that people experience with Black Ops 6 Zombies ever since launch was the amount of boss spam, with the Manglers and the Abominations on Liberty Falls, the Amalgams and Manglers on Terminus, and then of course you've got the Amalgams and Doppelgas on Citadel, and then you've got the Doppelgas, the Shock Mimics, and the Amalgams on the Tomb. It was way too much. Whereas on this map, you're only dealing with the Elder Disciple. But here's the thing, boss spam isn't completely gone within this map. It can happen. It's all up to you to make sure that it doesn't happen. Now, let me explain how it works. Boss spam in this map works from the Elder Disciple. The Elder Disciple makes the boss spam happen, but you need to give him at least like a good maybe 30 seconds to a minute in order for him to like transform a lot of zombies into mostly Doppelgas and then potentially Amalgams. But that hardly happens because one, the Elder Disciples are really weak, especially especially if you have the ray gun Mark IIs upgraded and the upgraded variants. So if your first focus is the Elder Disciple when he spawns in, you really should not be able to experience a lot of boss spam, and I definitely think it's a good punishment if you don't focus on him first. On top of that, he's a cool looking boss, and he's not a one-on-one copy and paste from the previous Disciples in both Modern Warfare Zombies and Cold War Zombies. So honestly, huge W to the Elder Disciple in this map, I think. On top of that, Double Tap coming back is great. Now, I'm going to make a completely different video on Double Tap in like a couple days or so, but Double Tap coming back is great. I'm personally happy with it. A lot of other people are happy with it, and this game definitely needed Double Tap. So honestly, short and sweet statement right there. Thank you, Treyarch. Definitely better than compared to when we got Death Perception in the tomb. And then of course the Ray Gun Mark II coming back after 7 years is great. The last time we saw the Ray Gun Mark II was back in Alpha Omega for Black Ops 4 Zombies. Now that game released in 2018. Well, technically 6 years because Alpha Omega released in 2019, but you get what I mean. We haven't seen the Ray Gun Mark II in a while, and I know a lot of people were feeling iffy about it, but see if the Ray Gun Mark II just came back on its own, I could understand why. But we got its variants back. We got 2 from Alpha Omega, which I'll hop in a second here, but I will say 2 of the variants that did come back from Alpha Omega in this map are huge improvements. The first one is the SMG one. Now sure, it's not dual wield this time, it's just a single, but there's a lot more ammo in it because the one in Alpha Omega, granted it's cool because it's dual wield and Ray Gun Mark IIs, the ammo on that weapon in Alpha Omega ran out way too fast. So to see the SMG one come back in the Shattered Veil and have a lot of ammo and you feel like you're not running out of it so quickly feels really great. On top of that, the shotgun Ray Gun Mark II as well has a better fire rate, and it's my personal favorite Ray Gun Mark II to use, especially when I was always so excited to use it in Alpha Omega, and when I used it for the first time I was very disappointed. So to see that actually feels satisfying and good to use in this map is great. Now as for the rifle variant for the Ray Gun Mark II, personally it's my least favorite Ray Gun Mark II variant out of all of them, but it is definitely cool to see a new one, and it isn't bad by all means. If anything, it's, I hate this word, but it's mid. All in all, it's not bad, it's just okay at best. But me personally, objectively, the SMG one is the best Ray Gun Mark II out of all of them, but me personally, I'm going to have to give it to the Ray Gun Mark II shotgun. I really love using that within the Shattered Veil the best. Having the Ray Gun Mark II come back in general is just really cool to see, and to see it go back in all of the other maps as well gives the more maps more of a purpose to actually spin the box within those maps. So W's there. I love that. The Pack Punch camos are really beautiful, and I don't see a lot of people talk about it because honestly these are the nicest looking Pack Punch camos we've ever seen in this game, and that goes for all of them. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, it is beautiful from all across the board. And honestly, I really love the slight touches when it comes to the little Chaos Story symbols that we've seen in all the Chaos Story maps within Black Ops 4 Zombies. So honestly, magnifique, Treyarch, magnifique. Along with that, we do have new zombie types for max ammo rounds. Now, I've explained this a lot in my previous videos that I never saw the problem personally with vermin and parasites being the new main enemy types for max ammo rounds within every map. I just thought it was okay, especially seeing as how we've had hellhounds with every map beforehand. Of course, we did have new ones, and seeing new ones would have been nice, but I don't think it's a big issue personally. But seeing new ones, especially when they're quite a bigger threat and quite scary to face off against, is actually quite satisfying and quite good. The toxic zombies, they don't explode on impact, they just explode when you shoot them. But if you're surrounded by them and you have no choice but to shoot them just to get out of their way, 1, you have a chance of dying, and 2, you have the chance of having to escape them, because honestly, if you need to shoot more, then that might start a bloody chain reaction depending on which weapon you're using. You'll be going up against 500,000 of those depending on which round you're on, and you might die. Like, it's insane. So honestly, I think the new enemy types are really, really good in this map in terms of the max ammo round. So honestly, W's to Treyarch there too. Along with that, the biggest thing I'm really happy about the Shattered Veil is that the story is way better in this map compared to that of the Tomb. I don't know how many times I've explained it within my previous videos, but the Tomb story is ass. I don't know how many times I need to say it, but there you go. And Shattered Veil, granted, it's not like the best map for story within Call of Duty Zombies. Blood of the Dead still holds that title, but the Shattered Veil is definitely one of the best story maps in terms of Dark Ether. Is it the best? Probably, but I've not really thought of it through. But having the return of Richtofen as well is really, really good, and that's probably what made the story more interesting and more great within this map. So honestly, Thank you, Treyarch, thank you. On top of that, for the people that are interested within intel, the intel on this map is good. Specifically 2 pieces of intel, which explains where 2 characters that we did see at the start of Black Ops 6 Zombies and where they're at now. On top of that, the 2 cutscenes that we did get within this map, being the cutscene before the boss fight and after the boss fight, are really cool, showing where we're going next, being Janice Towers, and of course, Weaver now realizing what he truly did when he tried to hunt down Richtofen, realizing that the people that he did kill was Richtofen's family, and that is the reason why Richtofen's putting him through this hell. The only thing I will say is that I really wish Richtofen got a chance to speak with every other character, except from Weaver. Sure, he was talking to all of them, but it would have been nice if he just talked to them individually, you know? But aside from that, great cutscenes all around. The Easter egg as well is great. Now, granted, I will make another video on this because this is basically every Easter egg within Black Ops 6. It's simply get the wonder weapon, do 3 Easter egg steps, and then boom, you're in the boss fight. But I really love the Easter egg in this because it reminds me of Dead Night. There's a lot of secret rooms you need to open, lots of cool portals and stuff, and some Shadows of Evil type-esque ritual lockdowns. Like, honestly, I think it's pretty cool. The boss fight as well is absolutely insane. Now, Black Ops 6 Zombies is definitely known for its great boss fights, and the Z-Rex is no different. Now, is it my personal favourite boss fight within Black Ops 6 Zombies? Personally, it's not, but it definitely is one of, if not top 2 or top 3 boss fights within Black Ops 6 Zombies. If anything, it's an S tier boss fight if you compare it to like every other boss fights, or hell, if you want to put lower, at best, it's A tier. And a lot of that, it's not even easy as well. It reminds me of the 9 Elephant boss fight, but the difference between the 9 Elephant boss fight and the Z-Rex boss fight is the 9 Elephant boss fight, as cool as it is going up against 2 zombified elephants, it was way too easy depending on what weapon you used. The Helion Salvo, the Strife, the Spitfire, hell, even the Shield was super easy to go up against with the elephants in 9. But whereas in the Z-Rex, no matter what weapon you use, he is very difficult to go up against. So honestly, difficult boss fight, cool boss fight, W's all around. On top of that, this Easter egg reward, if anything, is probably my favourite Easter egg reward within the game. Now, we've had skins, we've had wonder weapon variants, but this is actually another skin Easter egg reward coming into Black Ops 6 Zombies, and it's for Carver, and it's got like a 5 Pentagon Thief type look, and I am honestly really happy about that. When I saw that, I actually geeked, and call me cringe for that, but I thought that was cool as hell. So thank you for the great ass Easter egg reward, Treyarch. Now, that is all the positives I have, so let's hop right into the negatives. Now, for the negatives, I just quickly get out of the way. The traps aren't really that appealing. The microwave traps are basically just the Magnetron from Exo Zombies. Simple and plain, it's not that cool. I prefer the traps from the Tomb. If anything, I really liked how cool the arrow traps were, so honestly, disappointed in the traps within this map. Now, I will say this because a lot of people have said this on my socials on Twitter and recently on Afterlife's podcast, which I did attend. If you guys haven't checked that out, I'll leave that link in the description below. But I did make a comment where I did say how I really wish the Wonder Wolf didn't come back. Now, I really should went into detail because am I happy with the Wonder Wolf coming back? Yes and no. The Wonder Wolf in the Dark Ether era is actually very satisfying and very good to use compared to that of the previous games. The only problem I have with it is that we've seen it so many times. Here's the thing, it makes sense to come back in this map. We saw it, it's Richtofen's baby, it's the wonder weapon that he created, it's the wonder weapon that Kraft recreated within the Dark Ether story for him. So honestly, seeing it come back makes sense. We even saw it in the Liberty Falls intro cutscene, which is where, you know, you see the mansion where Richtofen's using it. But the thing is though, what I was disappointed about is that it's just the Wonder Wolf. Why aren't we seeing Elemental Wonder Wolves alongside Elemental Raygun Mark IIs? I definitely think that would have been a huge ass missed opportunity, and my reason for that is because we saw Dark Ether smoke-like particles physically break the Wonder Wolf within the intro cutscene of Liberty Falls. So it was really disappointing to see the fact that we never saw a new elemental version or a new variant of the Wonder Wolf. Now, I'm not saying bring back the Wonder Wolf DG Sharpshooter. As much as I don't mind that wonder weapon, I want to see something completely new with the Wonder Wolf. The Wonder Wolf itself, I don't have a problem with. I just want to see something new with it. That is all. If anything, that's like my only disappointment. Just the fact that it's the plain old Wonder Wolf coming back and that they decided to do nothing new about it. That's all. Off that, we only did get only one new variant of the Raygun Mark II. Now, I'm happy that the SMG one and the shotgun one within the Shattered Veil are improved versions of the SMG one and the shotgun one within Alpha Omega. I'm really happy about that. But the fact that we only got one new variant of the Raygun Mark II, and it's actually probably the worst variant out of all the versions of the Raygun Mark IIs, it's definitely worse than the original Raygun Mark II. It's just kind of disappointing. Is it bad compared to every other wonder weapon within Zombies? No. Again, it's mid at best, but it's just disappointing. amazing. And on top of that, this isn't really anything bad. This is more just a Black Ops 6 Zombies issue in general. Aside from Terminus, I'd say is that the Easter egg is short. It's just simple. Get your wonder weapon. If there's variants, get the variants. Do like 3-4 Easter egg steps and then boom, boss fight. I've always said this, and I am going to make another video on this. Just talk about how, of course, I don't mind the fact that we need to build the wonder weapon and get its upgrades for the Easter eggs. That's not the problem. We need the Easter eggs to be longer. We need Easter egg steps just dedicated to the Easter egg instead of it mainly just focusing on the wonder weapon. Aside from that, the Easter egg is great. I just felt like it could have been longer. On top of that, speaking of the Easter eggs, the abomination step within this is just strange. Now, the abomination step is both for the Easter egg and for one of the variants of the Ray Gun Mark II. Now, I understand why they were trying to do this. You know, they're trying to make it somewhat more difficult, but it's just annoying, if anything. I really don't understand what they were trying to do with it, but, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. I say we definitely had worse steps, but definitely not one of Treyarch's brightest moments within this map, personally, but it's whatever. On top of that, there isn't a lot of side eggs on this map, which, if anything, I'm speaking from the community's behalf on that, because one, I'm personally not one for side eggs, but within Black Ops 6 Zombies, I've been enjoying the hell out of side Easter eggs, especially within Terminus, Liberty Falls, and the Tomb. But within Citadel, I've not really been enjoying it that much. There's not really much side Easter eggs within that map, and they did say there was going to be the exact same amount of side Easter eggs from Citadel within the Shattered Veil. So I wasn't expecting much, but to see that there wasn't anything too crazy, like more secret rooms, not just dedicated to the Easter egg, but some dedicated to side Easter eggs, was actually disappointed. So honestly, not a lot of side Easter eggs. I'm going to say it now. On top of that, having to use your specialist ability being Ether Shroud for the Easter egg step, I think is kind of silly. Now, I get it, you know, you can put on certain augments where you can have 2 charges, you can make Ether Shroud last longer, you can run Power Keg, you get the full power side Easter egg power up, you know, that's all cool and dandy, but the problem is that the fact that why are we having to use a specialist ability for, you know, an Easter egg step? You know, I would have appreciated this, aside from Gobblegums and like power up side Easter eggs, I would have appreciated this step a lot more if they made it where if you need to go for the yellow portal, because that's the part of the Easter egg where you need to use Ether Shroud for, where if you hold square on a certain book and you have Ether Shroud specifically, it would just always fill up your bar, but it would only work if you have Ether Shroud, and once you've done that step, it would never do that ever again. So honestly, I just don't see the point in that step. Me personally, I don't think it's the biggest problem ever in the whole universe, but I just don't think it was needed. I think it's just dumb, if anything, but not a big game breaking issue. On top of that, the biggest missed opportunity within this map, and oh my god, I definitely would have thought this would have been cool, is that they could have pulled a Zetsubo no Shima and pulled 2 boss fights within this map, and that was the fact that they could have included the Modern Warfare Zombies worm boss fight. Now, I know Modern Warfare Zombies has its reputation of being awful, but you cannot deny the boss fights, especially the worm boss fights, were actually pretty cool and badass. On top of that, the Entity boss fight as well within Modern Warfare Zombies was great, but if you go into the secret cave room down deep underground within the mansion where you're facing off against Doppelgas, you will see a Modern Warfare Zombies worm statue. It would have been cool if there was a side Easter egg where you could actually be teleported into a new room that's nowhere to be seen within the map, and you actually have to go up against the Modern Warfare Zombies Dark Aether worm within round base. I definitely would have thought that would have been cool, and I definitely think that is such a huge missed opportunity from Treyarch. So honestly, Treyarch, if there's some way where you could just potentially add that in, you know, in a later update, but just not tell anyone and people just find that out later on, huge W's, make it happen. But see, if it doesn't happen, I'm upset. Now, I did ask you guys' thoughts on Twitter on what you guys think about the Shattered Veil, and this is what some of you guys said. We got one from Insane Gamer, and he says, personally, I think it's the best map in Black Ops 6, and really enjoyed the Easter egg. The boss fight is hands down the best we've had in years. Perfect difficulty with different movesets, a hardcore mode, and even a melee focused riding mechanic. Best story and cutscenes yet, but Rick Toffin looks off. Love that the Mark II and Wonderwolf both have their own uses and are fun to use, but the diluted Wonder Weapon pool does make Wonder Bar a bit less useful. I don't know how many of the side Easter eggs I'll personally be doing in most of the matches, but they can be fun to do once in a while. There are parts of the map that can be a bit confusing to navigate, but after some reps, you get used to them. The only step I'm not a big fan of is the Abomination Ritual. Wish there was a better way to control or predict their behaviour. 9 out of 10 map. Now, I agree with all of this, and I definitely did forget to mention that you can actually ride the Z-Rex when it comes to doing his tail attack. If he does does his tail attack and you're flung up in the air and you hold X or square on your controller, or F if you're playing on PC, you can actually ride his back. And honestly, I was doing it yesterday with one of my friends. Granted, we did fail the Easter egg, but it definitely helped when it came to just having a bit of a breather to get my health up just a bit. So honestly, I definitely thought that was cool too. Oh no, I agree with this comment. It was definitely a great map all around, and the story is great too. So all around, everything that you said in this comment, I definitely agree. We're going from FPS Psycho, and he says, loving it, played it daily since the map released, which I can't say the same for any of the other Black Ops 6 Zombies DLCs. Easter egg was incredibly fun with straightforward initial steps and a non-linear step order structure that makes it very replayable. Amazing for speedrunning too. Boss fight is difficult. I drank it slightly below Patient 13 without Aether Shroud or near death experience. It'd be in the top 5 most difficult bosses in my opinion, just down to how rapidly he attacks. The Mark II upgrades themselves are all incredibly viable. Blue SMG is the go-to, but they all feel very balanced and fun to use. Solid 8 out of 10 so far. Once I've done around 100, it may be a 9. Now, I actually did forget to mention this because Insane Gamer actually mentioned that in his comment, but there is actually a side Easter egg where if you get to round 101 on the Shattered Veil boss fight, whenever you reach phase 3 of the boss fight, everything will turn green like it's a max ammo round, and then the boss fight will actually go into a harder, more difficult boss fight. It's called the Hardcore Z-Rex mode boss fight. So honestly, there's no reward for it. It's just something cool that the Treyarch devs have thrown in there if you do the boss fight on round 101. So honestly, Treyarch, that was such a cool thing you added in there, and I really hope that's something that you could potentially go back and add, not as a super Easter egg reward, but just something you could go back and add to some of the earlier maps that you added in, like Citadel, Tomb, maybe hell, even Liberty Falls and Terminus. But aside from that, I agree with the comment all around. The speedruns on this map, by the way, have been insane. Shout out to King Moon Fickelson and all the other people, you know, speedrunning this map. I go on from No Name here, and he says, the Shattered Veil is the best map in the game. While it might not have the best side Easter egg rewards, the content it does have is a lot, and it lends itself to being a map to truly be remembered. The wonder weapons are fantastic. Best Easter egg in the entire game. Atmosphere is peak. Now, everything I agree with this. The only thing I will say is the Easter egg. My only problem with the Easter egg is that it's just a bit too short. I personally do love Terminus's Easter egg a lot more. Not because of its steps, but just because it's a bit longer. And even then, the steps aren't even just bad. It's just whatever, I guess. And on top of that, there's a lot more side Easter eggs within that map. So honestly, everything with this comment, apart from the Easter egg, I do agree on. So 100%. We're going from Too Bad for Xbox. God, what has he said this time? And he said, Shattered Veil, more like Shorted Veil, because I shit my pants out of excitement on how good this map is. You know, not the weirdest comment he's gave me, so I'll give him a pass. I'll give him a pass. I got one from I Got $2, and he says, I think it has the best Easter egg in the game, and maybe even atmosphere, but I still put Citadel above it because of the gameplay with the swords and incantations, and how you can use them against the enemy types. Shattered Veil's general gameplay just kind of feels similar because of the wonder weapons. And you know, I totally understand that. I really do. And honestly, I'm a sucker for swords, and that is the one reason as to why I put Citadel de More over the Shattered Veil. But I will say, Shattered Veil's Easter egg, in my opinion, is definitely better than Citadel de More's. The only thing I give Citadel de More's, you know, Easter egg is that the fact that, you know, you do need to get all the swords, and I love all the swords. On top of that, I do think it has a better boss fight. But aside from that, yeah, no, I'd arguably say the Shattered Veil has a better Easter egg all around compared to that of Citadel. We got one from Robin Tarantino, and he says, absolutely loving the map. 9 out of 10 map. Even with recycled wonder weapons, they chose some of the best to bring back, and they feel amazing. One of the coolest boss fights literally in all of Zombies history. 100%, I do agree. The only thing I'd say about the Wonder Wolf is that I really wish they'd done something new with it. Aside from that, I agree. We got one from Kahi Pride, and he says, you could say it shattered expectations. You get it? It's funny because damn, I'll see myself out. What? Never mind. Let's move on. We got one from Zexy, and he says, in my opinion, Shattered Veil is slightly better than Citadel. The only area where Citadel has the edge with its wonder weapons, but overall, Shattered Veil easily earns a spot in my S tier. Damn, that's crazy. Now, again, I'd personally say I could see most people ranking, you know, Shattered Veil in S tier, like I said previously. But me personally, it's a high A tier, or if I had to put S tier, it's a low S tier at best. There's so many other maps I just love more. But aside from that, I agree with you. We got one from from Buskin for Change, and he says, extremely good map, extremely fun to play, and it's the perfect balance of challenging and fun. The Easter egg is phenomenal, and the new enemies are awesome. Only con is no new original wonder weapons for the map. S2 map, 9.5 out of 10. Again, I think that's a lot of people's problem with the map, is that there's just no new original wonder weapons for this map. Aside from that, all around, the map is great, and I couldn't agree more. Overall, I think the Shattered Veil is a great map, and I definitely think it's brought a lot of people back to the Black Ops 6 zombie scene. But again, the problem with Black Ops 6 zombies was never the maps, and I definitely agree with what No Name said in his video in regards to that topic. I'll leave that video in the description below if you want to check that out, and I really recommend you do, because overall, all the maps in Black Ops 6 aren't even that bad. Now, I know a lot of people hate the tomb, but I definitely think a bit of it's forced, because we've definitely had a lot worse, but it's definitely one of the weaker maps in Black Ops 6. I just think the problem with Black Ops 6 zombies is that we've seen the same gameplay mechanics just tuned slightly every single other year these past 4 Call of Duty Zombies games, along with just some new game modes thrown in there, like Outbreak, and then Outbreak again in Vanguard, just changed slightly, and then completely new game mode with Outbreak mechanics and some DMZ mechanics being extraction survival based within Modern Warfare Zombies, and then some bonus game modes in Cold War. But aside from that, the biggest problem with Black Ops 6 is just the general mechanics, just changed slightly. That's all, not even the maps in my opinion. But guys, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about the Shattered Veil. Do you guys think it's the best Black Ops 6 Zombies maps in terms of DLCs, or do you guys think it's the worst Black Ops 6 Zombies map of all time? Or where would you rank it in terms of every single Zombies map of all time? But guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all within the next video or live stream. And goodbye!